Hi, welcome to my podcast, The Happy Hacker with Ambition. Today is Tuesday, and as usual, I'm trying to put my microphone on as I do the recording, which I should have done before I started doing the recording, but as usual, a bit late. Today is Tuesday, so my last I'm just going into the field again. I'm a bit behind. I'm really late actually. The gate's open. Oh, how did that happen? That's the other one into Spike and Hector's field, and everyone should put that on. My last podcast was all about me going to whatever happened. I was going to take Indy and out to dressage, and that, got to get on it and get on over it and get on with it. Well, the next day, I had another issue with her basically, and ended up with very, very kindly. Oh, my ponies! What have they? Just wasted so much hay. It's such a mess down here. Ended up with really sweetly of Laura getting on Indy, because what was happening was I was riding her, but probably not riding her forward enough. Pixie's not my wheelbarrow over. This serves me right for not emptying the wheelbarrow last night. I was working yesterday, and I got up really early because I had to start work at 8 o'clock, and so I mucked out really, really quickly, got everything ready, filled the wheelbarrow up as you do, but didn't empty it. Always a big mistake, because it never saves you time, really, in the long run, because it costs you more time, because you just have to go back and revisit it. And so here I am, left it last night because it tipped out. It was foul last night when I got getting home in the dark, and Indy was looking at me going, "Come on, Mum, I need to go in and get my food, and I want to get in." And the girls just wanted to get into their shelter, because I should have really blocked that off yesterday, and I didn't, because it's getting very muddy. And, it didn't go according to plan. Anyway, so as I said, what she started to do was do these little bunny hops, and automatically I freeze, stop riding, and kind of like pull her back to stop her, which really just gives her a lot of leverage to ping forward in a kind of minor little bunny hop thing. And then of course I'm like, oh my god, I'm all out of balance, and oh my gosh, I'm all out of balance, and just being a bit pathetic. So so Laura said I didn't want to do this. She went and got her hat, and she said to me, let's see what she does. So Laura hasn't ridden Indy for 3 years, because I've owned her for that long. 3 years, gosh, aren't I the lucky one? So what she did was she got on, and it's always the same. If your trainer gets on your horse and you really think you're riding, and then you realise that actually you're not riding, and you're just being a little bit of a passenger. And Laura always says, use your legs, and you go, I am using my legs. And then you watch and you go, you know what, you really weren't riding at all, you were being a passenger. And Indy, obviously, as Laura said, she was just trying it out because I'd got more confident and was going, come on, let's get on, let's do some stuff. She was just thinking, let's just see how confident you are, shall we? And it all backfired. So Laura got on. Indy half-heartedly attempted to do one bunny hop with her on about the third circuit of riding, and it was ridiculous, because Laura just sat there and went, oh, off we go. So used her legs to make her go forward, and you can have that, because I don't want it just putting the hay out that she's rejected from her evening hay net. So yeah, so what Laura did was let her have her head, didn't pull her at all to stop her, pushed her legs forward, made her go forward, which of course meant she couldn't do anything, because, you know, if she wasn't balanced, so she had to sort out her own balance, whereas I always try and hold them up for some ridiculous reason. And it's very emotional when you see that, and I did get a bit emotional. And Laura said to me, right, come on. So I then we called it a day, because, you know, obviously that Laura had ridden, and it was all right. And then Laura said to me, right, the next day, come on, you're getting back on, and it'll be fine. Because obviously I felt like I'd gone back 3 months with my riding of Indy and how he was doing. So that night, what I basically did was, we film each other riding quite a lot. I always film Laura at the moment when she's riding Bally. And I've got lots of films of Laura riding. So what I actually did was, I went to all my stock of videos that I've got on my WhatsApp file of Laura, and I watched them, and I watched how Laura rode, and I realised, and then I looked at how I was riding, and I realised that I really wasn't using my legs properly. And you know how we're all taught leg to hand, and what I was actually doing with Indy, which is why she's getting uptight with me, was I was asking her to do more and more. So what I was doing was, I said, yep, you can do that, but I want you to go forward, and I want you to go forward into an outline now, because you can do that now, there's nothing wrong with you. Half-heartedly as well. I think I always ride, or have ridden Indy since she's been ill, a bit tentatively, because I'm always thinking, oh, I nearly lost her, and I did nearly lose her, and I will always feel guilty for that, because I think it was my fault. I mean, obviously, if I'd had the information at the very beginning of what a certain drug would have done, that would have been at the very, very beginning, when I tried something, when Indy was, you know, we were recommended to, because she could be grumpy when she's in season, and to put her on a hormone thing, and not really thinking it through. Really wouldn't recommend it to anybody. I would certainly talk it through with a very experienced vet before you do anything like that, because it wasn't spoken to with an experienced vet. That's all I will say, and I wish it had have been. But anyway, moving swiftly on. So next day, having watched all those videos, I said to Laura, I've been watching, and I've been going leg, 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 and walking around the house and saying to my husband, leg, leg, and give it a hand, give it a hand. And he just looked at me and thought, you are completely bonkers. Next day, got on again, rode completely different pony. She still tried it on with me, and when she did, I just let her do what she was going to do, but I was always asking her to move forward, and because I didn't overreact, she carried on. She didn't try it again. So that proved to me that it is definitely me, which is very emotional, and horse riding can be emotional, and you forget it's meant to be fun. So I did that, was really pleased, and Laura was really pleased, and she said, my goodness me, that is like 10 times better. The difference is as well, it's made me ride Eek differently as well. So again, I've been riding going, I am using my legs, and obviously I wasn't. So I've had a much more responsive Eekie. I actually jumped Eek. She was really working well. I mean, working a beautiful outline. And I said to Laura, I went, do you know what, I think if I go to the dressage that I'd paid for and entered on India. I said, I think I'm riding, you know, I don't think I'm ready for that yet. And I was thinking, oh no, I just think I could have gone to pieces. I could have put too much pressure on myself. And also the other thing is that Laura said to me is that she said, I warm up. I used to warm up with Iki, really positively, go thing. And she said, and as soon as I went down the centre line, I used to go, oh well, whatever happens, happens. And she said, I could see it. She said, you just like, from being really competitive, you went like, oh yeah, whatever. She used to get quite, she used to laugh at me quite a lot about that. And I said, oh, I'm sure I don't do that. She said, watch your video. Oh my goodness me, she was so right. So my whole attitude changed. So I contacted Alison at Limekiln and I said, look, for all sorts of reasons, one, because I don't think I'll stay on Indy, I'm not going to enter, I'm going to change my entries to Eek, if that is all right with you. And she just went, yeah, it's fine. And so that was really kind of her. And the weather forecast for Sunday was horrific, but the morning, and as you know, I was right with the going to Limekiln because there wouldn't have been too many entries. It would have been the right place for Indy, and it will be the right place when I go in that class, because it wasn't that busy, and for reasons known only to Laura and myself, we actually arrived really early. Unknown for us to be early for an event. We're always 10 minutes to get on and warm up and run out. Anyway, we arrived, it was blowing a hoolie, it was freezing, I mean really cold up there, and the wind, because it is, as I said, it's the highest point from the North Norfolk coast if you're at Blakeney. Woof, bang, hits you in the face. So we were up there doing that. Laura's looking at me and I'm thinking, uh-oh. And very kindly we had to, Iki always, the way she travels is she leans sidewards in the trailer, and she always manages to poo down herself. She just does. So there's no point making them all pretty to start off with. So we did that when we got there, much to Eek's disgust, because we only had cold water, and sorted her all out, got on board, thought we were warming up inside, then realised that actually it was outside, so went outside to warm up. Lady in front of us, because Laura always tells me off for chatting to everybody, because I always see it as a bit of a social in the collecting ring, but it isn't, is it? It's competition. And Laura always goes, stop chatting, start riding. So that's what I did. Warmed her up, she went quite nicely. Laura was laughing at me, and she did warm up really quite nicely. And there was quite a lull in the before we went in, and it was because there was just the girl in front of me that went in. She was first in the first class, and she went, oh, but there was only me in it. And I went, still a first. You know, you still got that red rosette, don't knock it, because you're not really competing with other people, you're competing against yourself. I said, so if your marks are better. And she went, oh yeah, and Laura said the same to her. So that was good. And then she went in to I did an intro, because it was with Indy originally, an intro and a prelim. So canter with Eek is always interesting. It is something I've been working on with her, bless her cotton socks, because she does tend to canter a bit like a llama. Between a llama and a lamb, she has that kind of like dee-dee-dee, and she does go round. I was quite chuffed with my. Laura said to me I had to get 65% in my class. So it was okay, yeah, okay. And I was going, I wanted more than that. I really did want more than that, especially in the intro. God, I really did. But you never know. And I hadn't been before this judge, ridden before this judge before. So you don't know. You know, some judges are, you know, you don't know until you've ridden in front of them what their marking is like. And she was very fair. Comments were extremely fair. And when I watched the video back that Laura filmed of me, I could see where I'd lost the marks. I'd thrown away a couple of marks. Anyway, I came first in the intro. It's absolutely pouring with rain. I don't know if you can hear that as I'm mucking up. I came first in the intro with 65.26 or 62 percent, which I was quite, you know, I was quite pleased at. I do, you know, I was quite pleased. I hadn't realised I'd won, but you know, I knew it wasn't a bad test. And also because I'd learnt the test, and I don't know why I always have a caller. I think because I used to get quite nervous. Laura said to me I definitely rode better because I wasn't trying to hear what the caller was saying. Because obviously being deaf, slightly deaf, it is, you know, unless I wear my hearing aids. And quite frankly, I'm not going to start riding with my hearing aids in. I mean, I've lost one already once. I don't want to lose any more. It was, you know, I just think if you can learn your tests, it's easier to do, and really it's good for your memory to learn your tests. So I did that, and we went back, and then there wasn't that much time. Oh, and I was wearing my new jacket that I bought, and I was so toasty warm. And I said to her, I'm really lovely, toasty warm. She just looked at me, she went, glad you are. And I thought, yeah, don't knock your friend who turned up on a Sunday in the cold to help you, do all the help with your grooming and everything. I mean, I'm so grateful. So took my coat off and went in to do the prelim, and I trotted down the centre line. I was like, yeah, this is going to be fine. And I was wasn't a big class again, there's only a few of us in it. Less than there was in the intro though. And I came down the centre line and I thought, yeah, whatever. Got on with it, knew where I was going. And then I suddenly had a blank spot where what my next... I couldn't remember if it was a change the rein on the diagonal or if it was the second half of a circle, which obviously would have made a lot of difference on the movement and the marks you were going to make and how you were going to turn that corner. And I went, oh my God, I've forgotten it. Said it out loud, and Laura just shouted what it was to me. And I got reprimanded by the judge for talking. She said, remember, you are not allowed to speak. I sometimes think with dressage, why not? Why can't you say something? Why can't you talk? You know, show jumpers do it. I just don't know. Why can't you do that? I'd love to make it a bit more punter friendly, lower leagues. Come on. I just think it would be really... Sometimes some things have to change, and I just think... Anyway, so I got a very polite ticking off from the judge about talking, but and my canter was very llama-like, and my first canter broke 3 times. I mean, broke 3 times. So obviously you lose marks, and I've always been told that if you break early, not to put them back into canter. And of course I put them straight back into canter because that means that you know that you should have done that, and you don't lose as many marks. So my first canter was insufficient because we broke 3 times. It was it was appalling. But you know, you carry on, don't you? You just think, well, that was that mark. Let's see what we can get for the, you know, that's gone wrong. Let's get the next mark. We can get better marks on the next bit, which is exactly what I did. And I did get a better mark for my second canter. And Eek was really enjoying it. It was great to go out with a pony that really enjoyed herself. And she just feels fabulous at the moment. I just keep thinking, gosh, 22, I'm so flipping lucky. She's 22, and I know obviously she wasn't backed until she was 10. You just sit there thinking all that is coming to fruition and she's enjoying it. So I really did enjoy it. And then we had to wait for the marks. And we waited, and it was freezing, and poor Laura, you could see her getting colder and colder and colder, and we sat there and went, let's put Eek back on the trailer, which we did, because the wind, and obviously, you know, it's like any kind of thing, if you do any kind of sport, you get warm when you're being out competing, and then suddenly as you begin to cool down, it gets more and more, you get cold. It's really raining here. It's absolutely horrible. I'm not enjoying it today. Yeah, we waited, and we did wait a long time for our marks to come. But when it came, there was only 5 of us. I came 5th, so from first to last. But the winner got 67%, and I, who came last, got 62 point something %. So there's not that much in it, is there? So much. I was actually quite delighted with it. So really pleased with that. So yeah, a lot of positivity came from that, doing that. My riding, definitely. Eek was much more forward going because I was riding her, and you have to get Eek to go forward going. She can be a little bit difficult sometimes to do that with, but I'm sniffing again, I'm really sorry, but it is pouring with rain, and at least I'm inside at the moment, but I've got to go back outside. Indy has trashed her bed. I mean, I know she didn't go in till late last night, but she absolutely trashed it. She's always good when she's in for ages, but when she's coming in and out, she's a bit of a hooligan with her bed. Anyway, so yeah, so I was really pleased with that. Eek, for once, normally when she gets on the trailer, the first thing she does is wee in the trailer. So obviously you always have to jet wash that out when you get back. It was raining when we got back. But she did not wee in the trailer, so quickly just mucked out the trailer, tidied it all up, put everything back, and that was it. So it was, from my point of view, a shame I couldn't take Indy. I didn't take Indy. I still think it was the right thing to do, to take Eek instead. Obviously, because I got first, obviously. And that's the first time out this year for Eekie competing. And I'm really chuffed with the way she went. Now, I've just got to work harder with Indy. Laura also suggested, I need to ride Indy more. Laura is on nights, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday this week. As I said, I was working yesterday. So I started work at 8 o'clock and I finished at 6. So I was down to the horses because it's half term. I had quite a good run home. A good run into Norwich as well. So I did quite well. And I just think, yeah, you've got to ride a bit more. But we also agreed, and I think at the moment that she's a cheeky pony. And I know people say, oh no, they don't misbehave unless there's a reason. She's trying it on. Little ponies, you've got to remember, she's a Welsh pony, Indy. Ponies try it on. If they get out doing some work, they'll do it. A bit like humans, really. Oh, now I've got to go outside. So if Laura's not there, and I get on and I go, oh, I'm a little bit nervous, she's going to know that. You feel it, the way you ride, you see how you sit, everything changes. So I'm not going to risk it. I'm not going to risk... Oh, they've even managed to poo in the hay bar. Oh. Tia yesterday, 14th of February, was Tia's 28th birthday. Happy birthday, World Horse Welfare Valentine. I came down here at the yard about 5:30 to discover Tia had pulled out an entire bale of hay from the stable shelter and had pulled it into the mud out the front. And I just thought, why do I bother? They always do things when you are up against it. So I was like, oh, it's not good, is it? It's really not good. So pulled it back into the stable, sorted it out, left some hay out. Now, when I left yesterday, it was raining. So I left the girls access to get into the stable shelter, but obviously not Indy and Pixie Pony into theirs. So I've come down today, and well, when I came home last night, oh, the mud. The girls had obviously been trampling in and out all day. They had pulled out yet more hay. And it's such a mess down here. And we're going to be moving soon to the summer fields because we have to be off by March so the fields can start to recover. And I'm thinking about how I'm going to be able to change the girls. Indy and Pixies they wait at the gate, you see, for me, like all horses, and that has kind of trampled the mud. We moved it the other day and it's already recovering quite nicely. Grass is coming up, and then I looked at it again today and I thought, after last night, it's really bad, so I need to sort that out. I've blocked Eek and Tia out from coming in to the stable today because I need this as it's raining. And this is where with my stables, this is why I want to have some drain pipes. That's what I'm more talking about. I had to think about what the word was. Some drain pipes put in for me. But as I said, it's not an easy fix because Dean made it the most cost effectively he could with me. Also, we're on I have to remember that it has to go through the gate. The gate's come open. Oh dear. It has to go through the gate. It can't have too much, singing or dancing stuff with it. So, but because it comes straight off the roof, it then forms a nice muddy puddle in front of the stables, which is obviously where they stand, which is not great. So I'm going to have to do something about that. But I'm also going to have to think it's got to come in before Dean gets really, really busy with work again. he's always busy, he's always working, but you know what I mean. Before he's working exceptionally long days and weekends and everything. Right, that's the front bit done. Oh, it's such a waste of hay. I'm so angry. I'm so angry with them. I'm not going to bring the hay in here anymore. I'm just not going to do it. I probably keep it up at the... Dean made me a cover for my trailer to... That's my little trailer, not my horse trailer. To put the hay in and cover it up so it can stay outside. And it's great. It's really brilliant. But I struggled with it, putting it on and off, because I wasn't really strong enough to do it. And so I opted to put the hay inside, where I do in the summer, like I do in the summer. And the girls basically, and it's both of them, but Tia, I've seen Tia doing it. She just puts her head into the middle of a bale and just pulls it out. And Laura finds this. She has stored some of her hay in the stables as well. And when she had all 4 of them in, Donnie was pulling it out. Hector would do it a little bit, but not much. Now Spike is out constantly. He's much happier being out. It's better for him anyway to keep moving. Donnie's gone into a stable that he can't get the hay, and that seems to have stopped everything. So it's like, what do I do? I need to think another way around keeping the hay that I use weekly down at the horses. That's going to work. And so far I haven't come up with a really good idea. I really need like a little shelter like Laura's got, that Dean built for Pixie, that Laura now puts all her hay in. And I need something like that because it's on skids and it moves around. That's what I'm looking for, so I'm going to kind of see what else I can look for that I can do, because obviously we move fields twice a year, so it has to be able to be movable, but it has to stand up to the winds and the weather that we get down here, and also not leave a massive footprint really. I could just stack it up outside, cover it with a tarpaulin, which may be my next thing. So I only leave it out for a week. It's only a week at a time. I don't bring any more down than that, because why would you, when it's all nice and neatly stored up there? So I am thinking I might move my hay outside. I did before and I tied it up and I covered it all over, but now I'm thinking I might actually come up with another idea. Oh my lord, this is such a mess. Anyway, so the point of this was to say I didn't take Indy, even though I said that I was going to take Indy. I've got loads of ambition for Indy this year. I'm going to take it slowly. I'm going to start hiring. Laura and I have come up with the idea that we will hire a lot of the schools, take Bally and Indy round to all of them and just deal with it, which I think is an excellent idea, and I'm really looking forward to doing that. So that's what I did. That was my dressage, 1st and 5th, with a 65 point something percent and a 62 point something percent in my prelim, which was, I have to say, I'm really chuffed with. So I am happy hacker. I've still got loads and loads of ambition. I can't tell you how much ambition I've got. And I will be going out again. I don't know when my next venue is and that I'm going out, but Have got loads of ambition. Thank you so much for listening. Like, comment, share on your podcast provider, or if you're listening on YouTube, please like, subscribe and share. Or anyone, please subscribe. I'll keep you posted with what's happening. It's still winter, it's blowing a hoolie, it's raining like mad, but I am the happy hacker and I still got loads of ambition.